Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are breaking down an official medical report that, according to our sources, is much more than a simple health update. It might just be a weapon of war.
So here's how we're going to unpack this. We'll start with the official announcement, what they told the world. Then we'll peel back the layers on a very different story, a geopolitical counter-narrative. And finally, we'll look at the diplomatic deadlock and the ticking clocks that are pushing everything toward a breaking point. All right, first things first. Let's establish the clinical reality, just the facts, as they were presented to the world on April 24, 2026.
Now, the very first thing that should jump out at you on this official timeline is the gap. According to the Prime Minister's own office, the tumor was found and treated a full 2 months before anyone in the public was told a thing. And you have to ask yourself, why?
So, what are we talking about medically speaking?
Well, it was a tiny but malignant tumor, just 0.9 centimeters. Doctors confirmed it was caught very early and was successfully zapped with targeted radiation. Their words were, it left no trace of the disease.
So, about that secrecy, Prime Minister Netanyahu himself gave the reason. He said it was a calculated, strategic move. The argument was that revealing a cancer diagnosis in the middle of a conflict would be a gift to Tehran, ammunition they could use to spread propaganda about his health and his ability to lead.
Okay, that is the official story. But this is where things get really interesting. Our source material presents a completely different interpretation of these exact same events. Let's get into the story behind the story.
And here you have it laid out side by side, the two competing narratives. One is about national security, protecting the state from its enemies. The other, it's about pure political survival. The claim that this announcement was really a sympathy mask designed to distract from massive problems at home.
According to this counter-narrative, the timing is everything. It argues that this sympathy mask was a desperate move to distract from a whole list of actions described as brutal and aggressive, basically shielding the leadership from any accountability.
So what's the larger backdrop for all this political maneuvering? Well, it's a peace process that hasn't just stalled, it's completely broken down, creating what our sources call a diplomatic vicious circle.
Just look at this thing. This is the diplomatic death trap, a pyramid of guarantees. The Gulf countries need a promise from Iran, but Iran needs one from the U.S. Then the U.S. needs one from Pakistan, who in turn needs one from Israel. And where does it end? Right back where it started, with Israel demanding guarantees from Iran. It's a perfect circle of mistrust.
And that breakdown, especially between the US and Iran, is apparently so bad that our sources say the relationship is basically unsalvageable. The very foundation of trust has been shattered.
So, if diplomacy is a complete dead end, it begs the question, why reveal a successful cancer treatment right now? Well, this analysis suggests the answer isn't about foreign enemies. It's about domestic politics.
Get this. According to internal polling cited in our sources, a staggering 73% of Israeli Jews are now demanding a full-scale war this year.
And it doesn't stop there. 61% actively opposed any kind of ceasefire. Another poll shows 69% are in favor of a full-blown invasion of Lebanon. The public mood is incredibly aggressive.
And this is the crucial point. The counter-narrative argues that by framing his personal health crisis as a victory, a story of resilience, Netanyahu is tapping directly into that national mood. His cancer diagnosis is no longer a weakness. It becomes a political shield, a symbol of strength that connects with the public hungry for conflict.
All of this brings us to the final and, frankly, the most alarming piece of the puzzle. Because while all these political games are being played, the world is on a timer. In fact, there are two of them.
The first clock is military. Analysis from the Chatham House think tank suggests these endless peace talks aren't about finding peace at all. The theory is they're being used as a smokescreen, a way to buy time for a massive U.S. military buildup in the region for a final, decisive escalation.
But the second clock, that one is economic, and it is ticking much, much faster. According to the strategic analysis in our sources, the world might only have 2 to 3 weeks.
And this isn't just speculation. It's being presented as a strategic reality. The claim is that because of the conflict, global oil reserves are being drained at a rate that is completely unsustainable. This creates almost unimaginable pressure on everyone involved to cut a deal before the clock runs out, not just for the region, but for the entire global economy.
So in the end, we're left to weigh two clashing realities. One is a medical fact about a 0.9 centimeter tumor. The other is a potential masterclass in political manipulation.
It really forces us to ask a tough question. In the conflicts of the 21st century, where does a doctor's report end and a strategic weapon begin?